Hi. So I'm a minute early, I think. So if anybody's up and watching, please just let me know if you can hear this. Um, this is one of my uncomfortable zones. I'm not happy being on camera. So good morning, everyone. Welcome. You know, the world seems kind of crazy right now. So hopefully we can just get together and do some yoga. There's not much else we can do except for follow some rules and enjoy some downtime and maybe sit and reflect a little. So let's start, get comfortable. Let's start with some breathing techniques so that we can learn how to stay calm. So come to a comfortable seat, or if you'd like to lay down. The interesting part is I won't be able to see you, so get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, make sure you can sit tall. Very interesting talking to a camera and trying to keep my eyes open. In class, I like to close my eyes a lot. So I might do that on camera too. So just, if you've got some shoulder shrugs or neck rolls you want to get out of the way, get some fidgeties out. Maybe a cleansing breath or two. So maybe some point in the video, if I don't forget, because those of you who know me know I forget a lot of things, I'll try and do a panoramic of the room too, so the kids can play some I Spy games. But so for our first viewing, this is how it's going to work for now. So stick with us. We'll get some of these bugs worked out. Oh, we have an Iyengar class at 11 o'clock on Instagram today too with Lynn. So if you can't make it out to Novi, at least you'll have an opportunity to practice with Lynn. So I did bring some props home with me too. If you're comfortable, continue to breathe deep. I'm going to grab a wedge. I think they make great props for meditation, for sitting tall, so that you can get a nice big lift on your bottom. And it helps push your spine up. Meditation cushions, blankets, whatever helps you sit comfortably. And if you're laying down, by all means, get comfortable. So we're going to take a few minutes of just breathing and meditating, so then the camera's just going to be silent. I chose to go with no music this morning because the birds outside the window are very loud, and I was enjoying their talking this morning. I have a cat and a dog. The dog is not sure about coming into the new yoga room, so if Charlie shows up, we'll be very grateful he has ventured into the room. Miss Kitty, or Pie, as she's known, this is pretty much her room, so she's going to come and go at will. Now, back to some silence. Take a big breath in, and a big breath out. And as you begin to let the breath move through your body, one of the best breathing techniques that we've been using this week, or I suppose last week too, is that deep diaphragmatic breath, where we begin to inhale, see how deep we can inhale without straining, and then exhale out the same amount of breaths. And notice what happens on the exhale. Sometimes we get real edgy there. That's where anxiety comes out. So stick with that exhale and keep evening it out until the inhales and the exhales are equal length. They don't have to be huge, just equal. And eventually, they'll get deeper. And just feel the extension and the expansion. There's 3 other people at home with me today, and I am not in an enclosed room. And it might be the same circumstance at your home. So whatever we're really trying to do, we're trying to relax. Even if the world around us is making noise, is busy. Now I'm going to try for a couple of minutes to not say anything, so that you can feel these inhales and exhales in your own body. Make sure you're keeping some space between your teeth. Soften your forehead. And let's see if we can grow this breath just a little bit bigger. So if you can take in a little more air on the inhale, take in a little more air. And then start to increase the exhale until it's double the size of the inhale. Notice if you can feel tension in your body, things tightening up on the inhale or the exhale. And get a little curious, what is that? I was in Wendy's class and she was teaching transforming fear into love. And she had us label the tension fear. And to feel the fear. And then choose love. And it was almost like a magic trick. The tension began to dissipate. And so we did that for a while. Feel the tension create an emotion, fear. Acknowledge the fear. And then choose love. And feel it leave. And I think at times like these, when our higher selves are really being called forward, and it's scary to bring them out, sometimes we have to breathe into that tension and feel the insecurity and the judgment. And then breathe out love. So take a few more rounds of breath, trying to make your exhale longer than your inhale. See if you can get it to twice as long. Notice when the body gets tense. Give it an emotion and then choose love. Try a few rounds on your own. Allow this last round of breath to be the last one in this pose, this seat that we're in right now, whether you're on your back or your bottom. See if any intention came up for you. For those of you used to setting an intention for your practice, don't let it become habitual. And for those of you new setting an intention for your practice, let it be something heartfelt today, maybe sending love into yourself if you're feeling the fear and the panic that's arising from everything that's happening. Or maybe you send out the love to release the fear and panic from others that are really struggling with the situation we're in. But we're here to do yoga, so release that. Set an intention. Come back to your breath. And we're going to take some either seated cat-cows, or for those of you who would like to come to hands and knees and take tabletop cat-cows, feel free to do so. I'm going to stay on my bottom. I'm also going to use my hands on my knees. And on the inhale, gently lifting the chin and the chest forward as the shoulders come down the back. A nice arcing of the spine. Let it feel good. It doesn't have to be big. And then exhale, round it back. And see how many of your vertebrae you can actually separate on your back body as you tuck your chin in and maybe even curl the pelvic floor under. And then inhale, bring it back, lifting the chin. And when we lift the chin, don't get lazy in the neck. Don't over compress. Keep lifting the spine long so we're not compressing the neck, we're extending. Take a few on your own, letting your deep diaphragmatic breath help guide you. Equal inhales to equal exhales. Anytime you need to open your mouth and breathe, you're going to need to take a break. That's just one of the signs. And then you just take a break. Come to a seat or a child's pose and take a break. I apparently have a short attention span, so I am done with my cat-cows. I'm going to start to take some circles with the rib cage. So undulating the spine and waking up the body that's going to be moving. So we can find any of those tight spots that aren't tension and start to work out the tightness. We want to be kind when we're working things out. We don't want to go the other way if you're rolling yourself around. We want to push. So that might work if you're lifting weights for gains. Right? That might work if you're a runner and you're trying to prepare for a marathon. But in yoga, we actually need you to back off a little and let the process take a little longer, but you'll get a lot farther. Come on back up to neutral seat if you're rolling around. And if you've got any props in your way or on your mat, just go ahead and take them off to the side. Ooh, I still have my coffee over here. And then we're going to come to the tabletop if you haven't gotten there already. I haven't checked my camera for all my angles, so bear with me as we work through this. And then we're just going to take some regular cat-cows. I know some of you guys have some higher energy, some of you are bigger movers. So take this to down dog if down dog is where you want to be, right? I absolutely adore down dog, and then table, and then cat. So you can start to take these movements just a little bit bigger to meet the needs of your body. Or if you woke up a little sleepy today, what about pushing back to child's pose for a few breaths and let your body wake up a little more before you encourage it to move. So as you begin to do this, some of you also have an ujjayi breath. So feel free to kick up your ujjayi. Good. And let's keep it simple this morning so we know that anybody at any level can join into the class. So we're going to take the right leg out behind, push through the heel. Right? And if you're in down dog, you're lifting your right leg up to the sky. Maybe you're keeping the hips square because you always stack them. And then we're going to lift the leg and then lift the arm. I'm probably not wearing the best clothes to see all the body parts, but see if you can push down through the first knuckle of the first finger and then pull your navel into your spine so that we're using the right muscles and not dumping into the back. As you exhale, crunch it in, pull nose, knee, and foot together like tight little ball. Inhale, extend and lengthen to your fullest extension. Exhale, crunch it in. Now, usually when I'm teaching class, I might model a couple of these, but then I get up and walk around. So I guess I'm going to have to do all of them. And you guys know how I am with counting. And those of you who don't, I'm terrible at it. So I don't mean to build this trust. It's just I'm usually talking. I'm not counting. You guys go ahead and take 3 more. Oh, and those of you who needed to amp these up a little, let your last 3 be a variation of fire hydrant. Now mind the stuff in your house in case you didn't give yourself enough room to go into full extensions. Okay. And when you finish that last one, we're going to bring the left hand down and step the right foot up between the hands. If you've got to give it a helping hand, do it. And also, for those of you who know, I'm a huge fan of props. So feel free to use your props. It will assist your practice and you will actually get more out of it than trying to force your body into the pose. So we're just going to drop into these hips for a few breaths as you let your pelvis drop down and then forward. Pull your navel up and into your spine and then push the blocks away as you drag your shoulders down your back. So the front room here where I'm teaching class today. Oh, feel free for those of you who want to lift your arms up. If you want to curl the back toes under and lift that knee off the ground and get a little more energy going, go ahead. If you want to get deeper into the stretch, keep the knee down and let this open as it comes down and forward. And so it's a little chilly in here today because the heaters we brought home keep popping the circuit. So working out some heat issues. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have better clothes on. Exhale, bring the left hand down, right hand goes up. As you twist open, allow your neck to be long. Don't get crunchy in the neck. A lot of us tend to over arc the arm. See if you can keep it right over your nose. That's a tough one because some of us we're really close. Right? And then push the ground away with your supporting hand. Squeeze your inner thighs together so you're not dumping into the left hip. And take one more great big breath here. And then as you inhale, you'll come on up for a T-twist. Some of you can bend the back knee and reach for the bind. Some of you will reach back and twist open. Some of you might choose to take that knee off the ground. Of course not if you're in the bind. Right? So taking your crescent twist so that we get a longer stretch through the side body. Which way does that work better for you? Take that one. When you inhale, come back up through center, and then exhale, bring the hands down. Step the right foot back to meet how about the right knee back to meet the left knee? Walk the blocks out of your way. Hands down to the ground. Take a couple cat-cows, or move yourself into down dog, or push back to child's pose. So crescent's a pretty intense back bend for a lot of people if you don't engage your belly. So if you're feeling this in your low back right now, it's because you're not engaging your belly enough. Start pulling in on the navel more. And that's going to help protect your low back in a lot of these postures. Come through a neutral spine. Left leg's going to go out behind you. And we're going to stretch that heel first. And then we're going to lift the leg up. Get yourself stable, and then if it's available on this side, the right arm's gonna lift. Push down into that knuckle under your first finger and pull your navel into your spine. Shoulders down your back. And then exhale, take some crunches. It felt like about 5,000 on the other side, so how many do you need to be equal on this side? So the teachers that I've been talking about, the modeling and the demonstrating, how boring is that gonna be to watch a yin class? So we'll probably overlay some nice music as the teacher calls the poses. So we're open for suggestions and ideas. Feel free to kick in anything that you'd like to see in the classes. Last three, and we'll take those out to the side if fire hydrant worked for you on the first side. Now don't cheat and dump into your body parts to get a pose. We're just trying to get stronger and more flexible. And then we'll step the foot up between the hands so that we can take our nice deep hip opener. Help that guy out if it needs help. Take the struggle out. Life is hard enough. And then where does this side need to open up this morning? Do you need to be down here low, stretching things out? Do you need to lift your hands up high and burn off some energy? Pushing down through the big toe knuckles so that you keep the femur bone rolling in the proper direction in your hip sockets. Taking your time, if it feels good to lift the arms, you'll lift the arms. Same thing going on with the back leg. If you lift the knee on the other side, you're going to want to do it here. Last week we were doing these knee taps. Don't lift your hips, just pop the knee in and out to open up and strengthen the psoas, because it's not enough just to have it stretched out. And we're going to T-twist to open. Oh good, I get to talk to you guys this way instead of the wall. Breathe deep. Twist just as far as your body will go. Don't hit that brick wall and beat yourself against it. Back off of it. Relax. What is that tension? Label it. And then release it as love. Tip it back. What are you reaching back here? Can you reach all the way for the heel, the hip? Do you want to lift that knee? I can't believe how nervous I am. This is so funny. I'm shaking up here. Breathe deep. Navel to spine. Good. If your knee is lifted, bring it back down, and then we'll take the hands down to the ground. And you're either going to step back and take a vinyasa. That's your chaturanga, your up dog, and your down dog. Or you're going to push back to table or child's pose. Pull your shoulders down your back, no matter where you're at. The muscle on the top, the supraspinatus, that guy gets so strong, it pulls our shoulders up. And what we need to do is the adverse. We need to pull those shoulders down. So push the ground away and pull your shoulders into your sockets. Navel into spine and breathe deep. If you're in down dog, your heels are reaching for the ground. And if yours actually touch, why don't you play with picking your toes up? And breathe deep. There's always a way to intensify the poses, which means there's always a way to modify. Take 3 more breaths wherever you're at. I've got a lot of nervous chatter going on today. Let's take this warm up just a little bit bigger. So if you're in down dog, you're going to walk, hop, or float your feet forward. If you're in table, you're going to step 1 foot up at a time. And if you're in child's pose, you're going to join us when you're ready. We've been playing a lot with the half lift in my classes using blocks so that you can actually push the ground away and open the shoulders as you lift your gaze. Softness in the knees, but pull the navel in. This is going to help rotate the femur and open up the hamstring. And then at the same time, we're lengthening our neck and lifting in the direction that's opposite of what we do all day long, which is good. And then pushing the ground away keeps things engaged. Exhale, pull your navel into your spine and forward fold. Pushing down through your feet, especially your heels, and then your big toe knuckles. Push the ground away. Pull your navel in. Take 2 more big breaths. As you inhale, soften the knees so you can come all the way up through standing, reaching the arms and the gaze up overhead. And then exhale the hands right down to the heart center. Take a moment to come back to your breath and your intention. And we're going to take these movements just as big as your body allows. So if you're a regular flower, you're going to do down dogs and your chaturangas, your up dogs. Right? If you're newer to the practice, stick with the tabletops. Inhale, I'm going to show that version first. Arms go up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, full fold. Now that's where I usually get the blocks out of my way so I can plant my hands on the ground because I'm still stepping back into my chaturanga. If you keep your knees down, please make sure your belly's engaged. Otherwise, you could hurt your back if you're swagging here. Right? So strong navel, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra, hips are on the ground, hands can lift, or up dog. Everything's pulling forward as you push the ground away. Curling the toes under, the hips to the heels, and then to down dog, or you could go straight to down dog. Now, for you big flowers, give this one a try. It's going to anger some of your egos. Drop the knees down to the ground. I'm going to do the left side first. You're going to take your left leg out, level of your hip. Now keep your hands glued to the floor. Stack your hips, bend the knee, and twist open. Don't let your right hip sneak out behind you, right? Keep it stacked right over your knee and try and twist those hips open. The pelvis is going to love this. As you exhale, step your left foot up between the hands. Help it out if it needs help. Pivot and plant the back foot. And we're going to rise up for warrior two. Tailbone rolls under, pushing out and down. Let your knee open to the pinky toe. Big toes push down and away. Arms are out in T, and we're pulling the shoulder blades apart to protect our sternum. Gazes out over your left middle finger, long neck, strong belly. Oh, if anybody can tell I'm out of alignment, send me any messages. Reverse it, tip it back. Because that's what we do in the classroom, right? We tell you, we show you, we say it with words, or you feel it with touch. Straighten the front leg. Keep the hips moving forward as you reach out long for your reverse triangle. And then tip it over into triangle. Now you can use the blocks, or your shin, or your thigh. And keep the pelvis rolling under. The chest rolling up to the sky. Watch the arm again. A lot of us wing out. Keep it straight up. And then some of you, maybe you float those arms out and feel a bigger pull, a bigger stretch as you work those obliques. Good. Inhale, come on back up for a triangle. Then we're going to pivot the hips forward, reaching the arms up. Left hand's going to come down. Now, I usually need to bring my back foot in. So bring yours in if you need to. And then some days it's nice to use a block. Square the hips, reach the arm up, shoulders down, long neck. Don't be tense. Good. Spread those fingers. Don't be a limp, lazy hand up there. Squeeze the hips together, belly into spine. One more great big breath. And then as you exhale, bring both hands down to the ground. And if you've got a fancy practice, you could pop into handstand here and take your vinyasa that way. If not, we're going to just bring our foot back and we'll be in high plank. We could also bring the knees down. And then we can take our vinyasa from here. So it's knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Knees, chest, chin's my new favorite because it's awkward. Inhale, come through. It's cobra or up dog. And then exhale, table or down dog. And now we're going to drop back down to our knees and catch the right side. Pick the right leg up behind you. Stack the hips. Bend the knee. Try to keep those hips aligned. You can thank Julie Morrish for this one. I saw her do it in class and I thought, what is she doing? She's way stronger than that. And then I tried it and I was like, holy cow. She's realigning her pelvis. This is amazing. Right? So taking cues from you guys in class. As you exhale, step that foot up between your hands. Pivot and plant the back foot. Rise up to warrior V. Good, sink low. Push down and out. Roll the tailbone under. Engage that belly. Reach the arms out, shoulders down, and sink. And if you can't, that might mean you need a wider stance today. Don't forget, back foot's our anchor. The whole pose starts in this back leg. And then reverse it. Big side body stretch right here. Try not to collapse on this side. Be long on both sides as you go up and over. And notice how that pulls you out of the lunge so you can re-engage. Maybe not. Maybe the inner thigh is too tight. Straighten the front leg as you reach it back. Shoulders down, belly in. Push the ground away. 2 more breaths. Stretch your side body. Triangle. Hips forward, arms in T, support yourself if you need the support, but don't dump, don't collapse into the support. Roll the tailbone under. Left hip is rolling back as the right hip is rolling forward. Same with the shoulders. Thumb is up over. And then pushing the ground away with both hands.
For those of you who took the intensifier, make sure you take it on both sides. And if this is your weaker side, you need to hold it a breath longer so that it catches up to the stronger side. Good. We're going to come on back up through triangle and then turn the hips forward. If you need to step that back foot in, step it in. Left hand goes up and then it comes down. Right hand goes up and then we push the ground away. Square the hips, pull your belly in. Stack your shoulders. And then really engage your upper body. Try to keep your hips equal in height and distance. And smile as you elongate through the neck. Take one more great big breath here. And when you exhale, the hands will come down. And you'll make your way back to your vinyasa. So you'll step back, you'll take your handstand, chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin. Give yourself a back strengthener or a back stretch. And then down dog, tabletop, or child's pose. And take 3 rounds of breath wherever you landed. We're going to do this warm-up flow one more time. If you remember it without me, go for it. If you want to do the bend, twist, and open and down dog instead of table, do it. You can flip too. You can flip your table over there. Knees down to the ground. Or maybe you just hover yours. I don't know. Some of you guys are really strong. Left leg goes out behind. There's a bend, twist, open, a stack. Some of you guys are so flexible. You do things with your legs. I'm like, that can't be humanly possible. Right? As you exhale, you'll step your foot up and don't rush. You'll get there when you get there. And it's warrior 2. It's more about the movement and the breath than how quickly you get there. And then reverse it. As soon as you smooth out the body and the breath, you get there a little more quickly. Reverse triangle. No collapsing. Triangle. If you know any binds you want to add in, you add in your binds. And then if you extend it, extend. Revolve. And then reset for the other side. What does your reset look like? From down dog or table, we open the hip. And then it's warrior 2. Reverse. Be strong. And then straighten. Reverse triangle. Relax your shoulders. Deep breaths. Triangle. Hips forward. Belly strong. Push the ground away with your legs. Extend if you extend it. But don't force it. Don't force it. I was forcing it. And then come on up to triangle. And then revolve your triangle. Now those of you who want to finish this flow one more time, you're going to take it. If you're sticking with me this morning, you're going to come to your resting pose. It could be table, it could be down dog, it could be child's pose or hero's pose. What does your resting pose look like? And if you're flowing, that flow is about 25 breaths. Take your time and enjoy that. If you're resting, it's about 20 more breaths. Enjoy that. Let your body absorb the work you did.
feel it. As we get stronger, the work becomes easier and we can do more of it more fluidly. Until then, sometimes we get muscle soreness and aches and pains. Coffee dries out our muscles, alcohol, sugar, salt, that all dries our muscles out. And so when we start to do physical work with our body, it could hurt our muscles. So maybe eliminate some of that if your muscles are always sore. If you're flowing, you always know to catch up with us when you're ready. If you've rested enough and you're ready to join, I told you I don't count well, you probably still have 10 more breaths. We're gonna meet in the seat. And I'm gonna turn to face you guys. So those of you who've been in my classes, you can thank Hannah for this. I'm gonna have to call it out when I steal something from another teacher. Hannah showed me this in her gentle class. And I know some of you are gonna go, oh my God, you guys are doing that in gentle. Yeah, we are. And it's getting people's legs strong and their backs are feeling better. And then Corey, one of our students in Nova, showed me this trick. Put the wedge behind you and it's gonna be a lot harder to fall backwards. So you're gonna cupcake your fingers somewhere outside your legs, sit up tall, engage your navel, and we're gonna go left leg over the block and back, and then right leg over the block and back, and then this is the tricky one, both legs over and back. Ooh, you can tell by the change in my voice, still very challenging. And so we're gonna do that 4 more times, the whole set. And without being able to lean back, it's such a nice cheat. So if you can lean back, you're gonna be able to get those legs over. And if both don't go over at once, well, still work on one. So if you've been in my classes, you know, hashtag 2020 goal. This is the year I'm gonna get the float through, right? And on my way to that practice, I'm getting a really strong back. And my back pain is going away. My SI joint discomfort's going away. I'm still no closer to my float through, but I don't care as much. When you finish your last round, we're gonna take the blocks out of the way. And then we're gonna take and bend the right leg backwards. I did this one in Julie Kirkpatrick's class at Hamsa Yoga when she was in town. She's a Jivamukti master. Lovely stretch. So if you're really tight, bring your knees in a little closer and take some of that pressure off. If you're really open, I need you to take your legs out as wide as you can get them. And I'm going to show you a few tricks on this one too. Inhale, lift your arms up, and then turn your torso to face the bent knee, and breathe. I cheat here, so I'm like pushing really hard in my left hip. See if you can balance out between both. Remember, the pose isn't important. What you're learning in the pose is important. As you exhale, the left hand's going to come down inside the leg and the right arm's going to reach over. Now, hopefully you didn't put your blocks too far away. And if you don't have blocks, you get stuff around the house you guys can figure out. Kleenex box, shoe box, those all work pretty good. Right? So you can support yourself here if you need a little support. And don't forget, these guys, you know, they come in a couple different heights. So work the space that works. Now for those of you who are in the Gumby zone, and you can reach over with both hands and start to roll the shoulders and keep pushing the hips down, you're going to take the left hand and reach it under your right leg for your right ankle. And then you can play tug-of-war with yourself. So for you really Gumby people, you can get an extra stretch here. Now the thing I need to remind you Gumby people, don't dump into your joints. You need to activate your muscles. Passive stretching isn't good for you flexible folks. Engage your muscles. Let yourself rotate open. And those of you who are really, really tight in your muscles, you need to go passive. You gotta relax those muscles. Right? So breathe deep. Everybody's different. That's why we have so many different practices at Good Karma and so many amazing teachers. Good. Take anywhere from 1 to 3 more breaths on that side. And when you lift yourself up, you're going to take the left hand back behind you, and you're going to lift the right hand up. You don't have to lift your hips, but if you want to, you're going to lift your hips. And then if you can, you're going to put your whole left foot down on the floor. So from, oh, I can't lift my hips to,
I'm doing a full-on back bend. Right? The important part is releasing the hip flexors and stretching out the quadricep, because we just worked that guy pretty good by lifting it up and over the blocks. As you exhale, set your bottom down. And then we're just going to shift sides. So many of you have heard me talk about Nikki. Nikki is one of our students who comes to No Guide, and she transitions without using her hands, and I've taken up to that practice because I think it's pretty cool. So if you want to start transitioning without using your hands, I have to highly recommend it. So set your legs up on this side. They're probably going to be a little different. Take our 3 honesty breaths, turn towards the bent knee, and allow yourself to sit and feel what you're supposed to be releasing. Shoulders down, belly in. And then bend in. Now, you've got the same setup on this side. It could be blocks. It could be the foot grab. Or you could work for the bind. But don't let the bind take you out of the pose. We're trying to stretch something, not look like something. Breathe deep. You got 3 more breaths on this side. Shoulders down. When you finish your 3rd breath, then you come on up. It's the right hand this time that's going to go behind. And the left one goes up. Nothing else has to. But if it does, see what lifts, see what stretches. What can you let go of? What can you open? You take as many breaths there as you want. When we come down, we're going to meet on our backs. Some of you are going to hug your knees in and roll right down. Some of you are going to need to float your boat and work your belly just a little bit more. So boat starts, and it's got a lot of different shapes. There's a lot of boats out there. And so if you come into full boat, we want to try and lower toes and shoulders at the same time. This is something I'm still working on, so I don't get very far before I can't talk and do it. And when you get all the way down, take your time. Some of you need to take more breaths. You're going to hug your knees in and roll side to side. Relax your belly. Relax your neck. Check back in with your breath and your intention. And then we're going to plant the feet on the mat. Right behind your hips, so if your low back is tight, walk those babies open. If your low back is loosey-goosey, how close can you bring yours and still get a back bend? Walk your shoulder blades under. Push your hands down. Push into the big toe knuckle, the heel, and the pinky toe. Inhale, lift your hips. And breathe. Just breathe. Notice if you squeezed your glutes. If you tensed them, let them go. Now, engage them and notice the difference. When we tense, it's a fear reaction. And when we engage, we're engaging strength and power. Think about the knees coming in toward one another as you push the ground away with your feet and maybe your hands. We're going to do 2 more rounds. So take 1 more breath up, compressing the area between our chest and our chin. Exhale, lower down, just like we would in shoulder stand. And that's going to help boost the immune system because you're stimulating your endocrine system, which is the part of the body that makes the pharmaceuticals or hormones. So that's pretty cool stuff right there. So it's not about how high you get up in the back bend. It's about stimulating your endocrine system and your thymus gland, which sits right on top of your heart. Good. Now push into your feet. Inhale, go up again. And if you were already up, I'm looking for 10 to 15 more breaths. And you can take your back bend up to the level you need. But this one we're going to go moving with. So I want you to walk your shoulder blades in, push your elbows down, hands face to each other, lift those hips as high as you can. And now, oh, I'm terrible at this, and now I'm going to do it on camera. You're going to pick your right foot up, and then your left foot up, and you're going to march. Now some of you are going to pull the knee into your nose, point the toe at the ceiling, pull the leg all the way down, and then do that on the other side. So you're going to have a very elaborate march. And some of us are still just trying to figure out how to pick up a leg and set it down. And if that's the case, that's probably a sign that you're having some sciatic issue, some SI issue, or some other low back pain directly related to a weak muscle somewhere on the front side of your body. So when you need to take a break, and you'll come on down. And smile, because you're the only one who can do this physical therapy. Breathe deep. And if it isn't physical therapy yet for you, my God, you're working on maintenance? What an awesome place to be. Where did you take your practice? Okay, we're going to go up one more time. That's not true. We're going up 2 more times. But this time, we're going to lift those hips. And we're going to pick the right leg up and cross it over the left thigh. We're going to hold the hips up high as we open the knee. Right? And you're going to give yourself anywhere from 1 more to 10 more breaths lifting your hips. This is going to finish with pigeon on your back. And for you Gumbies, don't let your sit bones lift. You want them facing the wall in front of you. And for us less bendy peeps, no worries. You're going to come down when you're ready, and you might just lay here with your hips on the ground, opening that knee out to the side and getting your left knee to point up. We all have a tendency to tense the neck, so relax. If you're the in-betweener, you're going to pull the left knee into your chest, and that's going to bring the shin forward. We want the knee to keep tracking out and away from the body, the right knee. Some of you can bring the hands under the thigh or around the shin. And I see a lot of people pull this leg over. That's you really hypermobile people, and what's happening is you're missing the stretch because you're letting your tailbone roll up. So if you're up here grabbing your foot, you have to push your sit bones down and away, or you're going to miss the stretch. Right? So feel free to explore some of those options, and then there is one more for really, really flexible people or those working on it. You're going to grab your foot and hold the shin towards your chest and let your left leg go out long. And you're going to try and push that into the ground as you bring your left toe towards your left ear. And push away with your right hand on the knee. So many different expressions of pigeon because, well, we're all different on different days. 3 more breaths, and then you switch sides. You switch sides. We started with the hips lifted. One more time. Work those areas. Let's get strong in some of those weak spots. When you come down, it's pigeon. Remember, it was 1 to 10 breaths. Lifting those hips. This side might be extremely different than the first side, so be okay with taking a different variation on this side. And if you tried all the variations with me, looking for the one that was just right, then make sure you do it on this side too. Remember, the pose is here to teach us. We're not here to master the pose. When we master the pose, we master the lesson. What are you learning? Breathe in. Breathe out. For those of you who need an inversion, add your inversion in. Otherwise, we'll be moving into Shavasana. And you can stick with me to the end. We're going to take lion's breath after Shavasana and finish off with an Om. So I'm going to do a really short timed Shavasana here, about 3 minutes, and then we'll finish class together. So if you're still moving, take your time. If you're new to Shavasana, lay still, close your eyes, and slow your breathing down. Focus on your breath until your mind takes over. Gently bringing awareness back to your breath. I invite you to take a longer Shavasana later today. Late winter, early spring's a great time to add a nap into your daily routine, or legs at the wall. You're going to slowly wake yourself up, so if you need to stretch or squeeze your knees, those big cleansing breaths, big inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Take as many of those as you want. And then we're going to lift up onto our elbows, locking them back under the shoulders, hands down. Open your chest, point your toes. Good. Lift your chin and chest. 3 lion's breaths. Lion's breath, we stick our tongue out and try to touch the chin. Then we roll the eyes up and try and look at our third eye.
So we're taking a big breath in. Feel free to be dramatic. I actually like the dramatic version better. And then we'll lift ourselves up to a comfortable seat. And we'll make our way to practice closing. Good. Sit up tall. Let's take another round of that cleansing breath just to prepare our lungs for the Om. Inhale, take a great big breath in. Exhale, big out through the mouth. Inhale to a comfortable level. Bring your hands together in front of your heart and bow in. It is with the deepest gratitude in my heart to share this practice from my new home studio with each and every one of you. Hopefully, this live recording will also be recorded and you may tap into it at another time. Stay tuned for more online classes. Thank you all for being there, and we'll be starting an online chat group soon in case we need to talk out some of those fears. It was an honor and pleasure to be here with all of you today. Namaste. Lynn's up next at 11 on IGTV. Check it out. Talk to you guys soon. Oops. I don't know how to turn it off.